Today I'm setting some garden intentions for the new year, and I'm so glad that you all are here to join me. Hopefully we can all motivate each other, get inspired, and get creative about ways that we can improve our growing spaces so that they grow even more food, medicine, and beauty for all of us to enjoy. So grab your beverage of choice and let's get started. Welcome to True Freedom Permaculture, where we discuss natural living and how to have a green thumb even if you weren't born with one. Basically, I'm going to have more time this year. I'm still going to be busy like virtually all of you, but I'm going to at least have somewhat more structure in my day. So because of that, I feel more comfortable adding more annuals into my garden, and the perennials tend to be more hands-off, as you know, and I want to keep continuing with the medicinal herbs that I've been growing because I really like having all of them. And this year though, I want to get back into the onions. If you saw my last video, I talked about onions. Now that's not a practical thing. Usually if you have limited growing space like I do, I suggest growing what's most expensive or like what your family uses the most. And we do use onions a lot. But at the store they're not that expensive, but I love having the braid of onions hanging in my kitchen and just cutting one off whenever I need it. And so yeah, I want to get back into growing those. So that is something that I want to set up, and I'm glad we're talking about this because that means that we're at the end of January here, and that means that I need to start seeding them somewhat soon. So gotta get my seeds ordered because I start those indoors. The next thing is cilantro, which at one point I did grow, but I didn't grow enough. I would say, so cilantro is polarizing, right? You're either in the camp that totally loves it or you totally despise it. My family is in the camp that totally loves it. And it's a great heavy metal detoxifier. It's great, obviously in cooking you can use it, but I throw it in smoothies during the summertime. It works really well with pineapple. It's really good. And it's just, it's something that I really miss having at hand. And because we use it more than even parsley, I would say, I want to grow more of it. I have tons and tons of parsley growing. But I don't have a lot of cilantro growing. So anyway, I want to get that established in my zone 1, ready to pluck gardening area situation. Now, the next thing is bell pepper. And bell pepper is not something that I typically love. I do like it, but my husband really loves it. And so that's something that I'd like to grow for him. And that is something that I have seen that is expensive at the store. Same thing as cilantro too, organic cilantro. I ordered some the other day and it wasn't that cheap. And it came in this like tiny plastic bag where, it wasn't thriving. It just looked less than desirable. And it was, it wasn't that much. It was like a couple stems. So cilantro, bell pepper, even for single bell pepper, is really pricey these days. If you know why, let us know in the comments. I'm always interested to know like what's driving the price up of these things. But yeah, so bell pepper is something that I would like to get established in the garden. It needs a lot of sun, so I need to try to figure out where I'm gonna establish that. The next vegetable and final vegetable are tomatoes, because those are something where if you know, you know. The tomatoes out here, growing up in Arizona, never thought I liked tomatoes. I would get these like pale, kind of flavorless tomatoes at the store, and now, they're so full of flavor. They are great in, obviously, sauces. We use it for pizza, pasta. That's the other thing. I want to grow fresh-eating tomatoes, but also I really want to grow canning tomatoes too, like some plum tomatoes. So I can maybe jar those this year, and we'll see. That's a little ambitious. We'll see. But, it would be nice to have some on the shelf that I can just grab at hand, dump it into a soup or whatever. We really do go through a lot of canned and jarred tomatoes. So that does it for the vegetables, and I think the final thing that I would like to add are flowers. Because I live on less than a 1/4 acre, I don't know, maybe I'm too practically minded, but I was like, I'm not going to devote a lot of space for flowers, because unless they're medicinal or they're like part of a vegetable, like, for example, the Jerusalem artichokes are in the sunflower family, so they have those cute yellow flowers, or like the rose petals we use. You can use those medicinally, but also, in jams and such. I just was not going to devote a lot of space to flowers. But I mean, they do serve a purpose, beauty for beauty's sake. And my son now is getting more and more into nature, and he just loves being outside. And so I think like the things that catch his eye tend to be like big, flashy, colorful things. And so if I can grow some kind of like showy, colorful flowers, I think that would be a real point of interest for him. Keep him occupied for a little bit maybe while I get some things done. And also, it's just something nice to cut and bring inside for a little bit of the outside indoors. So maybe I'll do some dahlias, like I'll get some dahlia tubers, something like that. But yes, flowers are something that I would like to grow. So I think that that's a good goal. A good goal, you know, is like if it stretches you, like it's attainable, but it scares you a little bit. And honestly, I'm thinking about like all the things that I just said in addition to taking care of what I already have, and you know, it does scare me a little bit, but that means that that's where I need to be. So I would love to know what your intentions are for the garden this year, because everyone, you know, we all live in different growing zones and we all have different growing spaces. Some of you might have acres and acres. Some of you might live on small plots. Some of you might live in the city. Some of you live in the country. So I think it would be really cool to see in the comments all of your garden intentions for the year. Maybe we can hold ourselves accountable, you know, keep it fun, keep it light, but it's fun. It's more fun when we go in on this together. So yeah, drop that if you feel like it. And I hope you all have a wonderful growing season. I look forward to making more videos and seeing you all again soon.